Okay, sixth graders, it is time to do a self-assessment to see if you met all the objectives for your still life, your observational wax resist still life. So you're going to get a rubric, and this says what we did. We used our observational skills to draw, and we were inspired by Matisse, and we tried to take a risk and be kind of ish with it and just jump in with the crayons and the oil pastels, which was hard to do. But I am asking you also to make sure that you included all three complementary color pairs. So the three pairs, and I have them up on the board right up here, are red and green, orange and blue, yellow and purple. Those complementary colors are opposites on the color wheel, and they make each other look brighter. We had also talked about overlapping with space and being careful not to just put under our focal point, not to just create a table and make the appearance of floating, but to try to do overlapping by moving this line up, whether it's a curved or a straight table, to create the illusion of three-dimensional space, which the big idea is your paper's two-dimensional, and you're trying to trick somebody into thinking that, hey, these things are creating a deep sense of space by overlapping, which is something that artists are really good at creating illusions. So when you self-evaluate on this chart, you read the category over here, the criteria. That's like, what were you supposed to do? The artistic behavior is to observe. Do you have accurate proportion, shape, texture? Did you look carefully, more carefully than just everyday looking, and show proportion, shape, texture, and form? So you really have to do something advanced or above and beyond to get into AP. WP, working proficiency, you're probably going to be in this category or in developing proficiency, which means you're starting to get it. And that is not a bad thing at all. You're in a class where you are developing skills. Some of you may be trying some of these things for the first time or not for a very long time. So developing is fine. Limited proficiency usually means you forgot to do it or you need a little help reminding, and if I see you in this category, I will help you to get up into the DP. So first category is observation. The second one is about creating the illusion of space by demonstrating overlapping. Well, I want to see, do you think these students did the overlapping? Well, this student did, and you might think this student did at first, but this is actually a correction. Can you see there's a little hint of a line right here? Well, when she came up to me, I pointed that out and she said, oh yeah, and so she added in that overlapping back here with the oil pastel. So this student could easily make that correction by adding a little more table, because you see this one looks like you're staring either right exactly at the eye level line of something right at eye level and doesn't have overlapping, but if the table went behind, that could that student could meet this standard. All right, the next one is a wax resist technique. I want to make sure that you know what it means to do a wax resist. When, like right here, you draw with crayon or oil pastel and then paint over it. Since the watercolor is water-based and the oil pastel is oil-based, they don't mix. Oil and water don't mix. So you can, the oil pastel and the crayon does the same thing, resists being covered, so you still see the underpainting. So you have to sort of hold your breath. And you could even take a scrap piece of paper, because this might feel like a risk for some of you, to take the watercolor and paint right over all the careful drawing that you've done. Try it. It'll look fabulous. Here's a great example, okay, of this underpainting. You can see the lines, and then washes painted over. But it doesn't just have to be in a small area. You can paint big areas too.